also known as Mrs. U, and this is the third of the U review. This is where I just take something crafty or fiber related and just give you my feedback on it. So far everything I have reviewed is not sponsored, so it's something that I've gone out and purchased myself, but in the case of today's review, it's something that was given to me by a friend as a gift. And in today's review, I'll be looking at Sock Architecture by Lara Neel. This is a great book for anybody who is a sock knitter or wants to get into sock knitting, as there are various techniques given in terms of heels and toes and other bits of advice as well. So as I said, the book is by Lara Neel. Within the book, I love the way it's structured because you have instructions for toe up socks as well as cuff down socks, and then also information about different foot shapes, getting gauges, needles that you use, things like that, and other bits just to help you along with your sock knitting and getting the right fit for them. So this is the layout of the index. So here you see for the you have the top down section and all the various heels that are given there, and then you have the toe up section, and some of the heels are repeated, but then it just gives you it in terms of working in the other direction. And then you also have within that as well, you have instructions for working the toes too, and these are all the different patterns you have within the book. And underneath there's a section here where you just turn to that, there's a section here, for example, where I'll see the best way I can show this. Okay, that's fine, it's not giving any secret sauce away. There's a section there where you can find a particular heel construction, and then it will tell you what features it has, whether you never have to pick up stitches or has a gusset, short rows, or if there's grafting involved, and then it will tell you which of the patterns incorporates that type of heel. So if you want to work one of the patterns from the book but also want to practice one of these heels that are there, it tells you which pattern to use in order to do that. So yeah, I've used this a few of the heels in this book when I made socks for the triple arters, that's my 3 boys, and also for a couple of their school friends who I made socks for, and I found it extremely useful, helpful. It was confusing at first because the way it's written out, you will have the section for that particular heel, and it will give you the setup instructions in terms of, for example, if it's a sock where you're having to do a heel flap and gusset, it will give you the instructions for doing the heel flap. Then when it gets to the gusset section, it will for the heel flap, there's a basic instruction that you'll be given on how to work that. But for the particular heel, it will just tell you how to arrange it in terms of the stitch numbers. But the heel flap itself, I believe, is usually the same for all of the socks. So that's kept on another page. So you're expected to just go to that section, work that, and then come back and work the actual heel short row, if that's what involves shaping for the for that particular heel. So you're having to go back and forth. So that's what I didn't realize at first. I got to a section and then wondered, where's the instruction for this? How do I arrange the stitches for the heel flap, or know how many stitches to have? So there is some going back and forth, but once you've done it a couple of times, it makes sense and you pretty much remember how to do the heel flap, and it gives you different options in terms of whether or not you want just the basic heel flap or a what's it called, a ribbed, well no, a slip stitch one. And then they'll also give instructions on what to do if you have odd or even stitches on the heel, stitches that you have. Another great thing about the book is that it is more, in terms of the heel instructions, it is more of a recipe. So it always works on the basis of how many stitches you have. So it'll be, you have X stitches, arrange the stitches for your heel with X divided by 2 or divided by 4 or something like that. So it's done in recipe format, so it's easy to adapt it towards whatever number of stitches you have for your heels. A great thing is also the pictures. Each different heel has a picture. I wish I could show this to you, but there isn't really any way that I could show it without showing some text in the book. Yeah, that wouldn't be, oh hold on, I can show you the back of one of the I can show you the back of one of the songs. So this is one of the patterns in the book, and this features an Eye of Partridge heel flap. I can't show you the back because that's where the information on the pattern is itself. And the heel that's used in that particular pattern is the square heel. Oh, I know, I'll just do this and then cover the bottom there. So that's the square heel. So that's one of the heels I used for the boys. Another heel I used was, can I show this one easily? I don't think, okay, I'll do that. This is the half handkerchief heel. So it has a triangle shape on the bottom of the heel. So again, this was a really good heel to work, and I used that, I think I used that for one of their friends. So it was a nice simple heel to make. Another interesting one that I worked that I hadn't used before was, let me see if I can find it. It was a new to me heel. I hadn't even heard of this heel before. Okay, I found it. It's the shaped joined heel flap, or just the joined heel flap, and that looks, if I can do this, like that. So it comes, it's a toe up one, comes up here, and then this bottom bit is where this section going across here is where the heel, the bottom of the leg meets your heel, or your ankle, let's say. So that kind of holds it in, almost, it kind of looks like you're wearing a slipper or a shoe, and then you work the rest of the leg from there. So there are some interesting heels in here. Some I still haven't tried yet. So the top down heels that they have here is the round heel, square heel, half handkerchief heel, common heel, shaped common heel, modified shaped common heel, Balbriggan heel, and band heel. And then they've got a section on afterthought heels with gusset, and also afterthought heels without a gusset, and they include the Fearless Jedi heel, thumb joint hat top heel, and that's a toe as well, thumb joint flat top heel and a toe again, 90-degree heel and toe, and strap, and they have a section called strap closure over 4 stitches. And then they have a short row heel section too. And in terms of the toes, for the top down, they have wedge toes, wide toes, sideways toe and heel, round toe, swirl toe, and short row heel and toe. So lots of options there. In terms of toe up socks, They've got the wedge toes, wide toes, again the same as with the top down socks, but they've also have the training wheel toe, which I haven't heard of. And then in terms of heels, they have pretty much the same as the others, but also have a band heel with and without a gusset. And then there's the afterthought heels with gusset, joint heel flap and shape joint heel flap, which is what I've showed you. And they've got the section on cast on in terms of how to work out your stitches in order to get the right cast on, and also the same for bind up as well, and other ideas, so other construction avenues and diversions, so different things you can do there. There's also a section here on trying to avoid holes in your socks when going from the toe to the heel or leg section, as does happen a lot of the times. I haven't followed the instructions for that because I do have a system that I kind of use where I will pick up a stitch below, but I'll pick up the adjoining stitch but maybe one or two below, and then I'll either do a knit two together or slip stitch, slip knit, and that way helps. So I'll just adjust this slightly. I'll just pick one of the stitches that doesn't look too loose, so that way it helps to close it up. It doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. But I will try her the option that she gives here in this book. Yeah, I wish there was more I could show. Oh, I can just show you pictures of some of the close-up pictures of some of the patterns. So the first one is here. So this is the, I don't know if I'm going to get the name right on this. This is, I think it's dry. That's one pattern. And then we've got, I won't go through every single one because that'll just take a long time. And then there's, this is the toe up version, so it's gonna look the same but just the construction is different. You have, okay, my pronunciation, please forgive me, moucher I think, or moucher, I'm not sure about the pronunciation of that. And that's checked and square. So the thing with this, they've got the top down and toe up options next to each other, which makes it easier when you're looking for the option that you want. And this is bootstrap, which I do like. I actually might make this one. I like that. I like just having that simple texture on the side there. And this is Uncommon Dragon. And what's next? This is one called Dyad, I believe. This was like a vanilla, more of a vanilla sock, or a straightforward sock. And what else do we have? And there's Procrastinatrix. So you have a bit of detail here in the toe. Not the toe, the heel, sorry. And there's a version here with a contrasting heel, which I believe has been done as an afterthought heel. So you see, it gives you an options for afterthought heel, even in the style of a heel flap and gusset. As I've mainly seen afterthought heels done more as a short row heel style, or the kind of commercial sock type heel. I don't think I've seen a an afterthought heel done in this style before. So that's great. It gives you another option there for that. And okay, that looks similar. Okay, you have, okay, I will show you that one. It's called a sidle, I believe, and if you look at the toe, you can see the toe isn't worked the way not toe. Most toe patterns, most sock patterns you see are worked. So it looks like the binder is along here, or maybe that might be where you do stitch markers, short rows or something. So yeah, you can see the sock itself might look simple, but it's the technique used in the construction which I think is great about this book. So it gives you different options of construction. So here's that sock at a different angle, so you can see there where the sock is the toe is constructed differently to most other sock patterns. And we have anthropomorph, and again I can't show you the picture to show you how that's been constructed, but from looking at it, it's looking at the step-by-step pictures. It kind of starts here, and then you work down the toe, down the heel, and then come up, and then you come up underneath the toe and join along here somewhere. So again, another construction option there. So yeah, this is, I'd say, a great book. It's one that I'd wanted to get for a while. Yeah, here's another one. I'll give you the name of that in a moment. It's called A Join. That's the name of the pattern. A Join. And that features the heel that I mentioned before that I did for one of the boys, the joined heel, I think it was called. Yeah, so this heel that I showed, again, it's going to be difficult to show now, but this heel that I showed you earlier that I worked. So yeah, this is a great book. It's one, as I said, that I'd wanted for a while, and I'm so glad I have it, because it has before, when design, especially when it comes to designing socks, before I would generally stick with either the wrap and turn heel or a German short row. So this just gives me other options and ideas of heels to use within patterns. So it just brightens my horizons in terms of sock making. I found also doing this, I do prefer, I found doing top down socks, but I will still do some toe ups here and there if there's a pattern or a technique that catches my eye. So if you are someone who loves making socks, enjoys or wants to design socks, or hasn't made a sock before but really wants to get into it, then I would say that this is definitely a great investment. It has various options available to you, different techniques you can mix and match. Yeah, I would definitely get this. And again, as I said, this is not a sponsored review. I just got this book as a gift from a friend and thought I would share it with you. It has been really helpful, and if my friend hadn't given it to, got the book with me, I would at some point got it myself, and I am so glad that I have it. So thank you very much, Valerie. And yeah, I do recommend this book. I would give it a 10 out of 10. Okay, so that's the end of the review. If you have enjoyed that, which I hope you do, you can check out my other review videos and look out for others. The best way to do that is by hitting the subscribe button. For those of you who don't know, if it's your first time watching, I also have a I also have a podcast called That's So You, which focuses mainly on knitting, but also has some crochet and other crafts involved. And I have an unboxing videos called What's Inside, where I share contents of the different clubs that I am involved in. And now and then I do post other tutorials and recipe videos, though I haven't done a lot of that in a while. But yeah, do check out the other videos, subscribe so you can be informed of what else is coming up, sign up to the email mailing list, so that's also a great way to know what's coming up. And yeah, come back soon for the next video. Bye.